Hey friends, and welcome back to Lemon Tree Corner. If you don't know me, hi, my name is Heather, and I run a small handmade business called Lemon Tree Corner, where I make purses and project bags and fun things like that. So welcome back if you're not new. Welcome to 2024. I can't believe it's 2024 already. This week in the studio, we're going to be working on mostly some crochet projects and catching up on that. This year is going to look a little different. No more doing a new bag a week. We are going to be focusing on some other things. We'll still be making bags, but we'll also be working on some scrapbooking, some crochet projects, and what else? I don't know what else. We'll find out. So I wanted to show you our first finished object of the year. This is the Pluie Calm Shawl from Expression Fiber Arts. I'll link the pattern down below. This is really fun. It was actually a pretty easy project once you get used to the rhythm of it. I did have two different colors of yarn. So I had a solid and a variegated that I was trying to work together. So the solid is a little wider than the variegated. I still have to block this, so I'm hoping it will work itself out. I also got really excited and wove in the ends before I blocked it, and I don't think that's what I'm supposed to do. So we will find out, but really fun, beautiful. It's like a really nice shell pattern, and I highly recommend it. It was a really fun project to work on. I kind of put it aside several times. I was worried I wasn't going to have enough of the solid to finish, but I do, and I have some left, so that's good. So first finished object of the year, and we already started our next project. I had to come up with something to do on the car ride to San Diego to and from, so I went ahead and balled up the first color of our new set of more vibrant lavender yarn to make our Segue shawl. So here is what it was looking like in the other yarn. I call it the Batwing shawl. You can't really see them right now, but they kind of work out into little bat wings. I wasn't very happy with the colors. They were a little too muted for me. So I went ahead and bought the more vibrant pack. You can't really tell with the first color is the lightest color. But I've gotten quite a ways on that. I'm on the second wedge right now. So that's good. I'll be working on that. And we also have to pick one of the sweater projects. So as much as I would love to ball up all of that beautiful green yarn I just bought, I think we're going to have to start with the other sweater because I've never made a sweater. So I think we should start with the other sweater pattern that's kind of an easier pattern, and the yarn which was more expensive than the green yarn, but the yarn I'm not as crazy about. So hopefully we can kind of cut our teeth on that sweater project and then move over to the green sweater. So I'm excited to start on that. And the other project we have to work on is our Sunshine Granny Square blanket. So I've made about half the blocks now. My blocking board is completely full. So what I was thinking of doing is setting up the card table, laying these out. I already have a grid pattern that I want for the colors, and start sewing them all together. So I don't know, I'll have to look up a video of what I want to do. I did like the tapestry needle stitch that we did on the ornaments. I think that would be fun, just going in the back loops back and forth. Yeah, I don't know if I really want anything showing here. I might just want them butted up next to each other with nothing in between. And then we're going to do this really fun kind of bobble border around the whole thing. That was what attracted me most to making this in the first place. So I'm going to set up the card table, take the next few days while I'm watching TV. I'm probably going to watch the the BBC version of Pride and Prejudice, because that's a nice long miniseries, and maybe my Canadian version of Anne of Green Gables, just to have some nice longer things to watch. I do have the last season of The Crown to watch as well, so we've got some shows to binge as we sew all of these together. Very excited about that. And just great to see you in the new year. What are you looking forward to this year? What are you working on? I would love to hear about it. Pop it in the comments below. Like I said in the last video, I don't really do New Year's resolutions because I find that I just beat myself up for not fulfilling them. Really do want to take better care of my body this year, find some healthier food to cook, maybe go back to a meal plan kind of thing where I don't have to think about it very much. The food I tend to cook if I'm cooking is comfort food, so that's not the best thing for me. And you know, when things show up and it's planned out and I don't have to think about it and it's healthy, I will eat it. So then we might be attempting that in the new year. I know there's a bunch of deals right now on those things. The other thing we have to do is we have to plan out our year. So I'm probably not going to plan out the entire year, but I should probably plan out the big things like in March we have the craft fair, right? So I need to think about what to make that I'm going to sell at the craft fair, like the rest of the piggies and maybe some other kind of spring type of things that we can make. Maybe pinning down what coin purse we want to make and making a bunch of those with our scraps. And just things like that, making sure that, you know, by December I actually have things planned out and made so that I can do a Christmas sale, I can do like a Mother's Day sale, you know, just thinking of things like that so that I don't miss the boat. When I decorated for Halloween and fall, everybody had released their videos like the first day of October and I was like, oh crap, I hadn't even filmed anything, I hadn't thought about it. So I just need to I need to have that YouTuber content frame of mind where I do things like 2 weeks before everybody else would be doing them so that the video is out during the time period when everybody else will be thinking about decorating their house. So things like that I need to think through and actually put on a calendar. So that's the other thing we will be working on this week. So if that sounds good to you, go ahead and grab a water or a cozy beverage, curl up, and let's start this new year off right. Okay, so big project for us today is we're going to start seaming our granny squares together. So this is the original inspiration for the blanket. I am going to do this kind of bobble stitch with our hot pink in the end, but first we have to put them together. So I have a little grid layout of the different squares I'm making, and I've just been making little tally marks when I complete them. So I've been completing them upside down. I've been completing them in order, and I know how many I need to make of each one. Some are 14 and some are 13, so that's how we're going to do it. This is what the whole blanket looks like when it's laid out. And we are starting with, so this is a blow up of this corner. So I'm going to go ahead and seam them together in that way, probably all the way across one row. We'll see how far we get. I did just look up the videos and it looks like the mattress stitch is the cleanest way to do that, which is the same stitch we just used on those ornaments, so I know how to do that. We are going to be using a tapestry needle with a set length of yarn, but she said the best way to make sure you don't have a million ends is just to magic knot the two pieces together. You have a little knot you have to deal with for a few stitches, but that's better than having a lot of ends to weave in the end, so we're going to do that. And we have our BBC 1995 best one ever, fight me in the comments, Pride and Prejudice version queued up on the TV, and we're going to get started. So what she did is she just continued on like the whole row, so I think I'm going to go this way and just continue on the whole row. So I'm going to get a nice amount of yarn to start with. And I can't, oh, well, we're not using our crochet hook, so that's good. Because I can't remember which one I used for these, which isn't good. Hopefully I wrote that down in my journal. I don't know if I did or not. Let's take a look. Looks pretty good. I think that's good. It's just hard sometimes to figure out what loop you're in. So I think the only problem with this now is I have to go to these two and get them right next to these. So I don't know how workable that's gonna be when I start putting all of these together. Friends, okay, so we've got two skeins to ball up today. So we have the second skein in our lavender shawl, and then I'm going to start on the sweater project. So this is the skein of the Noru yarn that we are going to make our first sweater out of. It's called Madara. It's wool, silk, and alpaca mix, and I was starting to have regrets of buying this yarn because I found that Barocco yarn for basically half the price of this. And so this is going to be like a over $300 sweater. It's not like the softest thing in the world, and I was worried about the color. So in my mind, I just had regret about buying this yarn. But now that I see it, I like it again. For some reason, I thought it was pink and not purple. This does look nice. It doesn't look too crazy like what I thought it looked like in my head. I also didn't remember where I put it, so I just had to look for a long time to find it. So let's ball up this yarn, watch some TV, and get ready. I'm almost done with this first skein for my shawl, so ready to have a new ball of yarn for that while we got the winder out. So let's get started. I'm watching my How to Renovate a Chateau Without Killing Your Spouse, I think is the whole title. Anyway, they're doing a time lapse of the 5 years so far that they've been renovating the chateau. So if you're wondering why it's going at super speed, that's what's going on. She's so talented. She hand painted each of those tiles, and then she made her own lino print for the wallpapers. So I started watching this channel in the middle of the kitchen renovation. So I
I started in year 3 of 5. This kitchen renovation took forever. I will link their channel down below if you're interested. There we go, all done. Now the fun part is I'm gonna have to try and start the sweater. There is a video for the stitch, and I wanted to show you our batwing shawl, our Segue shawl so far. So it definitely helped having the old one to kind of count stitches, but it's all tangled up. Okay, here's what we're looking like. It's very pretty, and I just laid this down on the dog blanket, so that was not smart of me. So we're starting the 4th wedge, and then we do a color change on the next one. So yeah, I hope that works out well, and can't wait to see the next color come in, which is going to be a darker, it's a really nice subtle fade though, so excited to keep working on that one. And it's time to make dinner. Okay, we're gonna make dinner. We're gonna make Hungarian Goulash. Please excuse my kitchen. It has seen better days. Basically with all of the Christmas cooking and everything. And some white egg noodles. And a lot of onions. This is for 2 different recipes. This recipe does call for 4 onions, but I'm not going to use all of them in this recipe. And we've got blueberry muffins. I usually like to have a treat for New Year's morning, so I will make those tonight as well. And then we've got, I'm making this recipe tomorrow, but then we've got the slow cooker version, but actually I'm not going to make this one. I'm going to make the family recipe, courtesy of family friends that made this for us. So that means we're going to have to go to our recipe box. There was one job I was really bored at, and I made these recipe cards for myself and printed them out. I think it's under comfort food. There it is. Hungarian Goulash. So we're gonna make the stovetop recipe. So we need 3 cups of chopped onions, 3 tablespoons of Hungarian sweet paprika. You saw that right. 2 bundles of stew meat. We're gonna start with the onions. I'm gonna save 1 onion for tomorrow for the other recipe. And then I'm gonna get these 3 chopped up for this. It really just depends on the size of the onion. And once again, I wish I had not put the nails on before making this. It's just gonna be harder.
On its way out, I wasn't sober and I was thinking out loud. I spoke of your bravery,
Okay, moment of truth. 1, 2, nope. Okay. Great. Okay. Meat. all coated. And it's just amazing what this smells like after a while. It's like the best stew you've ever had. Although it's just meat and onions. I guess you could add in some veggies. Well then, it says tomato sauce, not tomato paste. I had him get the wrong thing. Okay, well we'll add in some liquid to make up for the fact that it's not sauce.
Coming over and letting go of it all. Please move close to me. You love
And incorporated. We will taste it later for salt and pepper. Don't want to add too much salt because this is really gonna condense down. So just want to make sure all the onions are in there. I'm gonna put our cover on. I'm gonna put it on low here. This is a pretty hot burner still, so I'm gonna have to move it to the back burner. But I'll keep it on low for, let's see, well, 30 minutes to start. And then we'll move it to the back burner after that. Okay, sauce is ready. Noodles are boiling. We've got this cool noodle stir. So I'm just gonna boil the egg noodles a little more than al dente. I don't want them too far gone. And I don't want to deal with colander, so I'm just gonna drain them straight into the pot. Try and get as much water out as I can. I'm just gonna stir all the noodles in, get them all coated with the sauce. Just very hearty. So basically, if you just put a dollop of sour cream in there, it's usually good. Mix that up. You just kind of mix some sour cream in there, makes it a little creamy. Tones down all of the paprika, which can be spicy to some. It's not like super spicy or anything. Noodle overboard. And try a bite. Very good. Tender meat. Very flavorful. Okay, here is my messy craft room with all the piles of fabric. I'm trying out my new GoPro, so the first time I filmed this was a bit of a disaster because I have to learn how to film in low light. So let's try it again. So here we have some fabric I've set aside to be Harrelson bags. Remember that cute bag? So we've got this whole stack. I do need more fabric for this, so I have to look online and see if I can find that fabric. I also need more of these dots, but that's at Joann's, so I can go get more of that. So that's cool. We have a stack here. Oh wait, that was the Harrelson bag too. Maybe. We have a stack here that I want to turn into project bags. So we've got that. We've got a stack of really small scraps that will probably maybe make a coin purse, but most likely will be sachets. We have this stack of smaller pieces that I would like to turn into this bag. So it's kind of like a wristlet makeup pouch kind of thing. It's got this really cute shape with the two pieces of fabric and a handle, a wristlet strap that's detachable. There's no pockets on the inside, but it doesn't really need it. So that's the idea for that stack. And I probably have more that we can turn into those. Oh, and then we do need to make more of my wristlets, so I need to think about that as well. We've got this stack, which you cannot see now. I'm in my own shadow. We've got this stack of larger prints that I would like to turn into tote bags. I just don't know if we're gonna have enough fabric for that. So that's the question on that. This one I definitely don't have enough fabric, so I need to order a pink to be the lining for that one. So we've got that big stack. I have to find the other fabric that goes with these two big pieces, because I know I had another Tula Pink fabric to go with that one. And then we also have, I love these Joann boxes, so I got like 4 of these. So this box already has set aside a bunch of scraps that we are going to make into our Lori Holt zippy bags. And I was just thinking that this is kind of the shape I wanted for the coin purse. So I could make a smaller version of this because she's obviously engineered how to sew these together. So maybe I will use that as a template for the coin purse style that I wanted to make. So I've got this box full of scraps that we need to go through. Oh, there's some more of that dot fabric. So kind of need to go through these and figure out, maybe we'll make some Maya wristlets with these scraps.
Move close to me, love me differently, differently. You lay beside me, you held my hand in the dark. I started fighting, 'cause I was scared of it all. And isn't it glorious how love gets the best of us? Yeah, I got feelings, but I'm a tough one sometimes. Please.
Okay, so here's all my Advent yarn. I'm trying to figure out if I want it in this order or not. I kind of want to move it like that just to redistribute the colors more. And then I have all of this yarn from my original lavender shawl, and I'm trying to figure out if I can incorporate this in to make the blanket bigger. So I feel like it's gonna look kind of gray. I just don't know, like maybe I can do 4 of these. I just don't know which ones would look better. I think if I take the darkest one out, I'm probably good. And I'm tearing apart the last of my original shawl. My husband calls this my Buddhist practice of non-attachment. Every time I have to frog a project. I'm actually very glad I did this. I'm much happier with the other yarn I purchased. I just kind of sucks that I purchased this yarn and then it wasn't quite as vibrant as I wanted it to be. I'm gonna try the lark's foot stitch with this just because it's a beautiful stitch and I've always wanted to do it. And I'm hoping that I know more now and I can pull up on the yarn and not have my tension so tight. But here, let me finish this. Come back in a second. The question is, are these too close together? I feel like if I'm gonna do 2, maybe I should do those 2 next to each other. These 2 are really close in color. So what I might want to do is do that. I might want to do that. And then I think these are good like that. So that's the idea. I don't know how that's going to work out. So basically, if we did this one, I have to take a picture for myself. If we did this way, this that way, this way, and this that way, then I would be on the, no, I wouldn't be on the correct end. I have to do a 3-row repeat.
One eternity later.
what I could do is do this repeat. So we go this way, back this way, and then I pick up this yarn, go this way. So it would have to be a 3-row repeat, which kind of leaves these out in the cold. I don't know, unless I just put this in place of this every once in a while. Let's just take a picture so I have like a concept. It just can't be a 4-row repeat. So I don't know how I'm going to sprinkle these guys into this blanket in that case, because I really don't want a bunch of ends I have to weave in. I have to look back and see how big these skeins are. I think these are 10-gram minis. I think these are probably 20-gram minis. So I have to figure out how much yarn I have. Well, friends, that's it for another exciting week in the life of Love a Tricorder. I got my hair cut. Very exciting. Start the new year off with a new cut. Did my nails. They're just kind of a very muted color, so that's good. And we have finished what we can of our blanket. So let's take a look at that. So here we have our Sunburst Granny Square blanket. And this is what we've accomplished so far. So it was kind of a mess to try and put together. The card table is a little taller than is comfortable on the couch, so that was kind of annoying. Where did I put the thing? I also had to make a couple extra because I was a couple short for our rows. So basically what I had to do was I had to take my map and fold down what I've already done because I was getting confused with all these squares. So this is as far as we've gotten, which is 5 rows? 5 or 6 rows. I can't remember how far we got now. But I think what I will do is I will take this back to work to be my lunchtime project so that we can finish the rest of the squares in a timely manner. Because it's only about 1/3 of the blanket, so we've got a ways to go, and I think from now on I'm just going to join a row at a time because that was kind of a big pain to try and do it that way. So if we do a row at a time, then I'll just do the verticals when I'm done with all the rows. But that way they're not like sitting on the blocking board forever. So very excited to have that done. My husband reminded me that there was a piece missing in that puzzle. So I don't really want to go through all the trouble of gluing it together and framing it. And it's pretty huge. I don't have anywhere to put it anyway. So I think what I'm going to do is keep it in the box and put it on our new shelf. So we will work on that next week, taking down the decorations, the Christmas decorations, and just kind of trying not to take down all the joy with the Christmas decorations, which is what I feel like is going to happen right now. If you're anything like me, January is kind of a blah month. So I'm trying to think of stuff I can put on that shelf that's going to be colorful and cheerful and maybe still like wintry without being Christmassy. So I'm thinking that through in my head, and I wanted to show you guys. So this is the new GoPro. You'll see some of the footage we took this week with the GoPro and just learning its limitations. Like, it doesn't like low light, so filming inside is not the best thing for me to do. But I did find a video which gave me some low light settings, and that seems to have helped. And then just so you guys understand what's going on, I wanted to show you the chest mount. I can put it on here. So this is when I'm filming, you will see this going on. This mounts here, and then I can take videos with it on my chest. Only problem is it's not made for boobs, so it's a little annoying. It's definitely made for flat-chested men and not for women, so I kind of have to stretch it over the girls.
in order to get the shot I want. That's okay. I think we can make it work, and this was graciously paid for by the math faculty and their always generous gift card that I get for Christmas. So very happy to get that extra income so that I could buy a GoPro. So we're gonna do more of a vlogging style this year, less of the overhead hopefully, and more of just looking at my day-to-day point of view, going on walks with the dogs and that kind of thing. And that'll also really help when I'm on vacation. So hopefully it'll be a little more interesting footage than just the overhead camera on my cutting mat all the time. And I think I decided on my word for the year is going to be present. So I have a tendency of focusing on the future, dreaming about things, kind of escaping my current life, and just not really just being present in my body. So that's going to involve breathing, trying to meditate more, less screen time, trying to be focused more on what's in front of me and what's going on in the present moment, instead of focusing on, oh, where are we going for our next trip, or what am I making for dinner, or anything else. Just being present. And part of that is going to be the commitment, the renewed commitment to go on a walk every day. I work at a community college at this beautiful campus. The weather is really nice now unless it's raining, and even if it is raining, it's a nice walk. So I would like to implement that starting next week to walk every day, take like a break in the afternoon, and just go on a mile-long walk. It's really easy, it's flat, and we have a Disneyland trip coming up, so I need to get into training. So just renewing my commitment to do that and getting in training so that I can actually walk around Disneyland all day would be nice. So we got some stuff next week. We're gonna be making the pajamas, I think, before we make any more bags, and yeah, just trying to enjoy January without the blahs. So look forward to seeing you back here next week, next Saturday, and I hope you have a wonderful week ahead. Love you, friends. Bye.
I was the girl